Hello everyone and welcome to this evening's webinar. My name is Baraquiel and I'm very happy to be here with all of you. And today we have a very interesting question, that is, what is the best meditation? And I kind of like this question because if you think of it, it really goes with what is happening in this day and age. For example, what I mean is, if you go to the internet and, for example, you Google, I want to buy a new car, most likely what it will happen is you'll say top 10 cars to buy in India. Or if you look for anything on YouTube, you will see there's always this kind of list kind of videos, the top 10 or the top 5, what are the best this, the best that. And it's very interesting because these days, with so much information available, how we always want to make sure that what we are doing is the best, or what we have is the best compared to everything else. So it is kind of a fun question, and it's also a little bit of a tricky question, you could say. Now, I wanted to start by something that we've been discussing the previous couple programs, this whole subject of meditation. And we had to understand that there are two things here, which we both call meditation. First is the meditation experience, and then is the meditation techniques. There is a story in the autobiography of a yogi where Bhaduri Mahashaya, the levitating saint, asked Yogananda. He asked him, "Oh, I see you like to go often into silence, but have you achieved?" And I forget the word, but basically meaning communion, actual experience of God. He uses some Sanskrit word that right now I forgot. And then he tells Yogananda, don't mistake the technique by the goal. And we had to remember always that when we sit down to meditate, our goal is to feel joy. Our goal is to feel peace, to feel love, to feel expansion. Or, maybe in your case, it's just to calm down the mind a little bit, or calm down the heart a little bit, calm down your emotions, whatever it may be. And then, of course, the techniques will help us to achieve that. But as we were discussing earlier, meditation is that state when you're able to withdraw your energies, withdraw your thoughts, uplift them, and concentrate them in one of the divine qualities, you could say. You could be focusing and going very deeply into peace, or into calmness, or into love. And these are the things that we discussed in the previous classes. And then, as I said, we have the techniques of meditation that, let's face it, most of the time when we say we are going to meditate, we are not really meditating, we are just attempting to meditate. We are attempting to get into that high state. And that is why these techniques were designed, because they help us get that. But always keep in mind those words of Bhaduri Mahashaya to Paramhansa Yogananda. Don't mistake the technique by the goal. That our goal has to be that higher experience. It has to be that experience. So then, when we get to the topic of techniques, which one is the best of the techniques? And now this is, again, a very tricky question, because there is no real answer that one particular technique is better than the other. And let me tell you right out like this. If you have a guru, if he gives you a particular meditation technique, or a particular technique or mantra or whatever it may be to follow, for you, that will be the best thing. And I will expand more a little bit on this later on. But I wanted to tell a little story that Yogananda used to tell sometimes about a man who he was very devoted. He wanted to dedicate his life to God, and he decided to go to an ashram and serve the ashram and take initiation from a holy man, a guru that was living there. So he goes to the ashram, and the guru tells him, well, you are not going to have initiation right now. I want you to serve the ashram. So why don't you go and collect wood and collect water, and you can bring it for the ashram. That's going to be your service. And you'll be doing that for some time. So then a few days pass, and he comes back to the guru and says, and the guru says, no, not yet. Keep doing what you're doing. They're doing very good service for the ashram. And as days go by, he sees that many new people come to the ashram, they get diksha, they get initiation from the guru, and they live happily And still the guru refuses to give him that particular initiation and that technique. And months pass, and months turn into years. That again, still he doesn't have the technique from his guru. And as one day he was there trying to collect some water because that was his job, he looks at the reflection in the water and he sees his hair is become gray. He has long gray beard, and he came to the ashram when he was a youth. And he starts to contemplate, wow, I came when I was a youth, and all this time, what I have been doing, just carrying water, chopping wood, I have not done anything. And he was starting to weep, and a tear was going to fall down, was about to fall down from his cheek into the floor. And at that moment, the guru comes out running and catches the tear before it touches the ground. And he says, my son, you have no idea what you were about to do. If even one tear were to fall down from your eyes into this ground, you who are such a holy man, there will be famine in this land for generations. And then the guru touched him on the forehead, and he achieved that liberation that he was looking for. That for this devotee, even if he didn't have any technique, just because he followed what the guru told him, it was the right thing for him. Now the topic of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, that will be for another time. But that to tell you that, again, it is the goal of the techniques that we had to focus on. And if we are following a particular path, we should go with those particular techniques. Now, I am not an expert. I don't know how many techniques of meditation there are out there. But I can tell you one thing. Any technique that has been taught by a great master probably is a true technique, and probably it will take you very far away. It will take you very far away if it's taught by a great master, for a self-realized master. I have seen over time that many times people, especially when they are newer in the spiritual path, they go to one path and go to another path. They look at this technique, that technique, this mantra, and they experience with everything, which is very, very good thing to do. At the beginning, if you're not sure, you should experience with things and see which one works better for you. But then what people start doing also is they start, I'm going to take this element from this one and that element from that one, and I'm going to craft my own technique. And they say, that is what's worked for me, that will take me where I want. And to some degree, I agree, probably it is true. But I have seen that usually these people that do that, they have a lot of also mental confusion, or there is something not right about it. As when you, for example, see somebody who's been devoting his life to one particular path through a certain technique, for example, and they go very, very deep into that technique, you will see that the level of joy, the level of peace, it really strikes you, that really they achieve something. Whereas people who start combining everything here and there, usually there is something very different there. So that's the other thing. See what one technique works for you and focus on it. Go deep on it. Try to understand it in a deep way. Since we are talking, this program is called The Wisdom of Yogananda, I also should say that Yogananda did say in his autobiography for Yogi that Kriya Yoga, and by this Kriya Yoga we mean the Kriya Yoga as taught by Lahiri Mahashaya of Benares, he described it as being the airplane route to God, compared as to other techniques that are the bullock cart path to God, he said. And I want to say a little bit why he will say such thing. Now, I and all of us who are doing this program, we do practice Kriya Yoga. Again, I said I don't have particular experience with other techniques except the techniques that Yogananda taught. But let me tell you one thing. Every meditation technique that you practice, the goal should be the same. It should be able to help you calm your mind, calm your feelings, withdraw your energy into your center, and uplift that energy up in the body, especially to the point between the eyebrows. And we cannot give the Kriya technique like that, but Kriya Yoga works directly in all these factors. It helps you very dynamically to withdraw your energy from all your senses, bring it into your spine, into your astral spine, and then through your willpower, through the devotion, and especially through the grace of the Guru, you can uplift it and offer it up to the divine. And through that technique, you can achieve great amounts of joy. But mind you, even though Yogananda did call this technique the airplane route to God, and I should say also that in the autobiography of a yogi, Babaji tells Lahiri Mahashaya when he initiates him into Kriya Yoga that this is the same Kriya Yoga that Krishna taught to Arjuna, that later on was known to Patanjali, even to Christ and to Saint Peter. That this Kriya Yoga has been out there, so to speak, for millennia, really. But even this technique, if it's done just as a technique, it will not take you very far. If you don't do it with the right attitude, it will not get you there. It is very powerful, but how we do it is even more important. And it's the same with any technique. That again, Yogananda used to say, if you want to feel joy in meditation, you have to meditate with joy. If you want to feel peace in meditation, you have to, some degree, at least have that peace. And then your techniques will increase that feeling. And then, of course, as we said at the beginning, don't mistake the technique by the goal. That is important, that every time we meditate with whatever technique, we spend some time at the end in silence, just trying to feel that presence within us, that peace within us, or that joy within us. That's even more important than the technique, but the techniques will get us there. It is true that some techniques are better than others. It is the same thing. Imagine like trying to generate energy, for example, and we all have seen in movies or cartoons, like there's a guy with a bicycle going along and there is something in the back and is generating energy to that bicycle. That generates a little bit of energy. We know that mankind has evolved, that we can produce energy through water, which produces a lot of energy. Then, of course, there is the nuclear energy that produces a tremendous amount of energy, and so it is with meditation techniques. Some will certainly be better than others in that way. But also you have to understand, like nuclear energy also can be very dangerous. If there is a little mistake, the whole plant can explode, as is happened in Chernobyl years ago. And so it is also with some techniques you have to be careful, especially as Swami Kriyananda used to say, be careful with certain heavy breathing techniques or that get you very pumped up, you could say. They can be more forcing energy through instead of going with the natural flow. The thing about Kriya Yoga is that it goes with the natural flow of your energy. And make sure that whatever technique you practice, there is that natural feeling that is an extension of you. Not that you are trying to force something to happen. You cannot force spirituality to happen. It has to come naturally through your effort and through grace, you could say. And that, of course, will be a topic for another time. So in conclusion, what is the best meditation? Well, it is in a way the one that works for you, and especially the one that it has been given to you by a great master or by a lineage of great masters, you could say. Now, if you have any more questions on this subject, which is of course very broad, or if you have any other question regarding any spiritual topic, please type it on the comments below, and please do type your questions because we really want to answer them. And we will do, of course, our best to dedicate a program to each question. Joy to you. We'll see you soon.